from Saurabh's classes. In today's class, we are focusing on question number 3D, which says, what is replacement fertility rate? Does a decline in RFR, that's the replacement fertility rate, impact the demographic dividend? Now, you all must be wondering, okay, like which question from where I'm just taking up this question. This is from the ISS IES 2022 question paper. We have taken question number 3D for today's class's discussion. It is from the general studies paper. Now here all the questions you need to write your answers for all the questions in 200 words, not exceeding the word limit. So here, as I have read the question for you all, for the replacement fertility rate, you need to talk about it. Okay, first you need to talk about the intro portion, like you need to introduce the question, the topic in the question that is provided. Okay, you need to talk about, or rather I would say you need to define the replacement fertility rate. Okay, after that you need to talk about how like whether any decline in the RFR impact the demographic dividend. Okay, so before talking about the decline and all, you need to talk about what is demographic dividend. Then you move over to this portion, that is, does a decline in the RFR impact the demographic dividend? Okay, so whatever topics are given in the question, you need to first talk about those topics. Then you follow the question that is given, because here you need to write at least 200 words. So you cannot just directly go over to the question's answer. Okay. Now you see over here, I have included the definition of the replacement fertility rate. The replacement fertility rate is the level of fertility at which a population exactly replaces itself from one generation to the next. In developed countries, replacement level fertility can be taken as requiring an average of 2.1 children per woman. In countries with high infant and child mortality rates, however, the average number of births may need to be much higher. Replacement level fertility is not at all associated with a unique set of age-specific birth rates. When a country reaches replacement level fertility, other conditions must be met for zero population growth to also be attained. Replacement level fertility will lead to zero population growth only if mortality rates remain constant and migration has no effect. The momentum of past and current demographic trends may also take several generations to work itself out. A change to replacement level fertility A change to replacement level fertility therefore leads to zero population growth only in the long run. The size of the population at which the population growth levels will usually differ from the current population size. It follows that fertility level is not in itself a reliable guide to population growth, and it is instead better to examine actual or projected population growth directly, then subsequently relating such growth to fertility, mortality, and migration. So over here you need to provide a big introduction to the topic, because your first part question is all about the replacement level fertility. Okay, so you need to discuss about this thing, like discuss elaborately. You can then talk about how it is affecting the, yes, you can then talk about how um, this level is affecting the demographic dividend. Here you need to talk about how a decline in the replacement level fertility will actually affect the demographic dividend. Okay, so here I have elaborately talked about whether it is affecting the demographic dividend or not. A common misperception among many leaders is that a large youth population itself is an indicator of a coming demographic dividend. While youth can be a great force for economic and political change, the key first step towards the demographic dividend is not a large youth population. The first step, in fact, is a transition from high birth and death rates to low birth rates and child death rates, which is a process referred to as the demographic transition. The Yes, here I have given you certain illustrations also just to prove the point. While child survival has greatly improved in the developing countries, birth rates remain high in many of them. To achieve the economic benefits of the demographic dividend, developing countries must substantially lower both birth and child death rates. Then another illustration I have given in the world's least developed countries where couples still have many children, more than 40% of the population is under age 15 and depends on financial support from the working age adults, which has been defined as ages 15 to 64. Another illustration I have given, 1 in 4 women in the developing countries wants to avoid becoming pregnant or delay or space their births, but it is not using a modern family planning method. These women account for almost 80% of the unintended pregnancies. When women can choose when and how often to become pregnant, they are more likely to have fewer children. Okay? So these things you can include in your answer just to like complete whatever is being asked in your question. I have talked about the replacement fertility rate, then I have talked about the different illustrations which prove whether the declining the replacement fertility level is actually affecting the demographic dividend or not, and I have shown you through different examples how it is affecting. Okay, so if you have any queries from this, you can just post down your comments below in the comment box, and if you want to join our classes for any kind of entrance based preparation or any kind of like competitive exam preparation, if you want to do, you can just join our classes for expert guidance. So that's it for today's class. We're going to meet once again in our next classes.